Hey guys, what's going on? PigBenis here. We are gonna finally go on another mining run here. I know it's been a while. It's been about a week or so, but I've been catching up with other games and just playing other games. I mean, I've got so many games on Steam that I haven't finished, like Dead Space 2, and I finally finished it last night. It was a fantastic, excellent game. So I've been kind of spending time a little bit away from Entropia. Just because, you know, summer's coming up and I'm not going to have a lot of time to play other games other than Entropia. So we're back. A while ago I had promised to do a level 5 run and really show you guys how to get into mining and what to look for and everything else. And that's what this is going to be. This is probably going to be a couple parts because there's quite a bit to explain before we go on a mining run. So, get some coffee there, and let's explain the setup first. The setup is what I'm using will be a TerraMaster 4. Now the TerraMaster 4, I'm just kind of checking it out. I haven't had too much experience using the Arcadia finders, but what I've seen of this I like, especially for the markup that these cost. It's got decent range, 741, which is kind of where I like to be at. I like to be over 600, and a little bit more over 600 than less. Typically I roll with an F213, and I roll with an F213 finder primarily because it's extremely cost efficient if you can get it at the right price, and that right price being under 130%. Now, for some reason, F213s come and go. And right now, I just can't find one that's affordable. I found one, and it was 145%, and that's just not going to happen. So, the TerraMaster 4, we're going to go with here. Is it fucking narfy? Let's give him a wave. Oh, wait. There we go. Alright, hold on. Alright. Let's get to somewhere a little more private. Unfortunately, this happens quite frequently. Let's go over to Tangerine. We are in Rocktropia, by the way. Alright, so at 145%, an F213 would be way too expensive to use. It basically increases the decay of the finder because you're spending a lot more on it. Alright, so the TerraMaster 4 kind of sits between the TK120 and the TK220 in terms of decay, but in terms of depth, I think it's right below the TK220. Or right around the TK220. So I like it for that matter, but the main reason why I like it is because it has a very low markup, and one of the reasons for that is before this video now, people just don't buy it because they just don't know about it. So the TerraMaster 4 right now, if you get about 120% to 130%, you're going to be looking pretty good. If you get a lot less than that, like 110, 115%, that's where you should get it at. So take a look at that, see where you could go with that, and you know, if you want to mine in this range, there's nothing wrong with using the F105. I still have mine. I have it right here. I use it quite frequently. 522. I like to be in the 600 depth. So another finder which is great is the eMine FS. That's a fantastic finder. I would try to stay away from the Z series, the Xiplex. Because they have a lot of decay compared to what their depth is. However, the Z series, the Xiplex, has a wider range. So that's something to think about. Like I said, the F213, I love to use the eMine FS, and we're going to check out this TerraMaster. If I could have gotten a VRX 2000 or 3000 that would have been a little more affordable, then I would be using that. But right now, there's just like 2 on auction. They're like 170%, and I just can't see the value in that right now. So, okay, we also are using the Transformer T105. It used to be the best, and now I think the best is the newer ones that had recently dropped. And I can't remember the name of them right now, but they're an adapted, I think, an adapted refiner. But we're still using the T105. We have 100 ped and probe. We're probably not going to use them all. Oh, one last thing about the TerraMaster. We're going to run level 5, by the way. When we put a level 5 on a 105 right here, or any sort of the Calypso finders, it pops up and you can see it. Unfortunately, with the Arcadian finders, you can't see it on your TerraMaster right there. So yeah, and you can't even see it up there on the icon. So let's pop that on there. The other thing I do before I go on a lot of runs, I keep notes of every single thing. As far as amp calculations, regions that spawns particular types of ores and resources. So we are going to look at a couple of things here. We're on Rocktropia, and we're on Rocktropia for Alternative and Ignisium, and they both sell really well here on our Rocktropia, so that's what we're going to go for. We could find Alternative pretty much like anywhere on the planet, especially in this quadrant right here. If you could see my mouse cursor, basically right around the City of Dreams, this whole section right here. I like to go south of Tangerine, and I like to go right up in this area, Bondaby Beach. Now there are a lot of mobs in this area. You can also find Alternative in Hellmine 1 and 11. Okay, and Ignisium you could find in Hellmine 12, I think 4, and 7. But the thing too, what we're going to look at is what else we're finding. If we're finding a lot of iron, if we're finding a lot of gas up here in the City of Dreams area, then it's kind of like we kind of have to take a look at, see what we're doing, and if it's good enough to keep on going. We particularly don't want to hit, say, gas or iron, because that stuff only sells for 108 to 114%. Now, since we're rolling with a level 10 amp, or not a level 10 amp, what the hell am I saying? A level 5 amp that costs 110%, we need to get a consistent markup of, what guys? 119%. So we really need to find some alternative. Okay, if we hit a lot of gas and we only get the markup of 114%, we're going to lose. Okay, the reason why we're not using, say, a D class is because we need to get a consistent markup of about 124 to 125%. And now I know from experience all last year, pretty much mining Arcadia, when Arcadia had great resources that was selling really well, I averaged 127%, and that's fantastic. And since then, my average has come down because, well, let's face it, there's been a lot of listed oil and garbage resources. Okay, so well, why don't we just fucking shut the hell up and start fucking probing something here? So let's get on to what we're gonna do. Let's can we fly in Tangerine? I don't remember. Spawn our. Oh, Jesus Christ, pig. That's not what I wanted to spawn. I don't think I even have gas in it. We're gonna spawn. We're going down to this TP right here. Calculations. I have a bunch of worksheets that I use for. If you guys purchase the Entropia mining guide, then you get them in that. I think they're pretty much invaluable. I use them all the time, and they work for me. So, and they work for a lot of you guys too that have used the guide. So let's get started here. We have our TerraMaster 4, and again, we're just going to go for ore here. We're not even going to bother with and matter whatsoever. We're just going to double check that our amp's on a level 5. Now, what did I say? Level 5. Yeah, 119%. If you're using a level 2, then you could pretty much mine efficiently going for like gas, stuff like that. As long as you get a decent amount of markup for it, like you have to get 114, 115% for gas, and that would be like your break-even point. You wouldn't necessarily want to do that. All right. Level 2, if you could get a level 2 from a crafter at TT, or if you're going unamped mining, then you want to aim your break-even point, I should say, is about 111 to 112%. With the level 2, it's about 114. So obviously, you want to go for a lot more than that. If you want a level 2 mine alternative, then you should probably do that. That's a really good idea. In fact, that's kind of what I've been doing the last couple days. So there is a gazerdite right there, and we're gonna kind of treat this like a regular trip, and we're gonna pick up everything. I might as well talk about the extractor that I'm using, and it's the TT extractor. I was using an SGA for a very long time. I ended up selling it because the efficiency wasn't as much as I was expecting. I was spending a little bit more pet on it than I would have liked to. Now, if you guys saw like a week ago, I had I put on the extractor speed enhancers that increased the efficiency of this extractor when we tiered it in the tier video, and lo and behold, I still have the same amount of enhancers on this finder. How crazy is that? I haven't broken one yet. And right after that video, I did a ton of mining. The last couple days I didn't do a lot of mining, but right after that video I did quite a bit of mining. It was pretty crazy. So I just can't believe that they're still on there. So I like this little setup right now. It's very cheap. You don't have to really worry about too much of it as far as your costs and decay is concerned, because it is one of the better finders in the game, the TT. One of the other things that we're going to look at here is our hit rate. So we're going to kind of keep track of that. I've already dropped about 4 or 5 probes, and we only hit once. So if we're going to end the video, then it's probably going to be after a couple more drops here, because I don't typically mine unless I'm finding something, and I think that's pretty important. And it's a point that a lot of people have trouble with. Now, there's miners out there that will mine through anything, but for the most part, unless you have thousands of ped, then you probably don't want to do it, because you don't want to mine through the bad times just for a chance to get a HOF, especially now that HOFs are so rare. You want to basically just mine when it's good, and just stick with that. Once you start seeing that it's getting crummy, then you want to change areas. So, and I think that's what we're going to do here after this drop. If we're going to do one more drop, and we're going to see what we get. If we get something, we'll do a couple more drops here. Let's try to stay away from the Aatrox. If anybody's wondering, I'm going to stop with the Doom videos. We're going to continue with the Don't Starve series. I decided just to kind of go it alone on the Doom, because I wanted to kind of finish that game while I'm off of work this week. And, recording those sort of videos kind of take a long time, and for some reason Doom is still a little bit buggy, and I'm not sure why. Okay, alright, that's going to be it. Actually, let's do one more, and we'll do it right on the side here, and then that'll be it, and then we'll change areas. So, and I'm kind of glad I'm not continuing doing the Doom series, because let me tell you something, I played 5 hours last night, and I just got into the last area. I think what I'm going to do with that is just show the final boss in the final boss fight. I think that'll be pretty fun, just to finish off the series that I got going. Had I been recording the whole entire time, I think would have been an extra 30-40 episodes. And all right, yeah, see like how terrible that was. And we're definitely going to stop with this area, and then we're going to kind of move on to the rest. So that's what we decayed so far. What is that? 18 ped? Am I reading that right? Yeah, 18 ped. Jesus Christ, I'm fucking blind today. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and catch me in the second part of this video, and hopefully we'll get some sort of loots. And yeah, we'll see you in the next vid.